Welcome back to drama here at Wilton Mill. Johnny Garness, the championship leader, as was in Minimoto Pro, is back with a broken collarbone. He's going to race anyway. I asked the championship leader now, Mason Foster, what he made of Johnny's accident a couple of rounds ago.
Well, obviously it was quite unfortunate for Johnny because we were going to have a battle all the way to the end. So sometimes you have incidents that can
go for you, and sometimes they go against you. This time it's gone for you. What do you make of Wilton Mill this weekend? Is this one of your favourite tracks?
It's not really my favourite track, but I go all right round here.
We know Johnny then. Who's going to provide you with the biggest challenge this weekend?
Sullivan maybe, or Troy.
Okay, and who do you want to thank for your win last time?
My mum, my dad, my sister, Juice and Angler Karting Centre, X-Light.
Okay, well done.
Thank you.
Well, I certainly didn't expect Johnny Garness to make a reappearance this weekend with that collarbone the way it is, but it is Mason Foster going off pole with Garness trying to hold on to his championship off P2. He needs wins though. Troy Jeffrey goes off P3, 13 podiums, 1 race win this year. Then comes Sullivan Mountsie off P4 with 7 podiums and 2 race wins. Ronnie Chopper Harris is off P5. I think that's his best qualifying performance this year. Off P6, it's Taylor Stewart-Campbell, the 8-year-old from Wokingham. Off P7, it's Luca Hopkins, 1 podium this year, the 9-year-old from York. Off P8, the dude comes next. It's Clayton Edmonds, the 8-year-old from Uxbridge, riding the 146. Then Ethan Sparks, the 7-year-old from Maidstone in Kent. He rides a 62 bike. Orlando Phillips goes off P10, riding the 27 bike, the 9-year-old from Guildford. Then Harrison McKay, the 9-year-old from Lincoln, goes off P11. Then Keaton Payne off P12. Off P13, it's Jamie Woodcock, the 12-year-old from Northwich, riding the 17 bike. The 11-year-old lady from Ipswich is Jada Howe. She rides the 50 bike off P14. Off P15, it's Greg Marshall riding the 19 bike, 10 years of age, from Harrogate. Then comes Jacob Stevenson riding the 67 bike, the 9-year-old from Burscough. And rounding out the grid, riding the 45 bike, it's Caden Watson. If you're wondering why there's no drone this weekend, by the way, guys, it's because the Civil Aviation Authority have issued a NOTAM. That's a notification to airmen, particularly those of us that fly drones, to say no drones are allowed in this area this weekend. There's a local air rally. Jake.
Foster and Garness on the front row. Garness is back in town. I bet his osteopath's on danger money, isn't he? Amazing to see Johnny Garness back to full fitness, or at least enough to compete. Here we go. Let's see how these two race away. Garness straight into the lead. He's lost nothing.
That was the key, according to his dad earlier. When I spoke to him, he said, I think the key is going to be turn 1. We need to get the lead. If we get the lead, maybe we can hang on. But that turn 1, is going to be key, going off P2. He's got the lead. Can he hang on?
Well, Foster's going to give him absolutely relentless challenges throughout this 9-lap encounter, but it's all about Garness's composure. He must be in so much pain trying to keep this bike on the straight and narrow, but his speed is still there. He's lost nothing, so now he versus Foster for the championship with these final 2 weekends to go. You couldn't script this. It's the biking junior equivalent of Lauder versus Hunt, as now Garness has dropped to second behind Foster. Now, has he got the strength and the character to get himself back into the lead?
He's got the character. Has he got the strength, Jake? I'm not so sure, because that broken collarbone, that was completely detached, that bone, by the way. That wasn't just a crack. It was completely detached, and that was, what, only 6 weeks ago or so, something like that. And here comes Sullivan Mountsie for a move on Troy Jeffrey. So Mountsie up from 4th to 3rd. But Johnny Garness has got it all on here. I know he's in pain. Speaking to his dad earlier, he said he is struggling a little bit with the pain, but that's what these kids do. They are made of nails, as I've said earlier when we saw Bailey Stewart-Campbell go down, crash. get back on the bike, start banging the handlebars back into position so he can start racing again. These kids have got character in spades, none more so in this race than the man we're on board with here, Johnny Garness.
And this would have been a Johnny Garness decision as well. His dad would have turned to him and said, do you think you can do this, mate?
Indeed.
Yes, I'll give it a go. So this was not forced on him. Johnny feels, well, I could still win the British Championship. I'm going to give it a go.
He's had so much bad luck. He lost the rookie title the first year. I think it was 3 or 4 points or something like that. Very, very close. He lost that going into the final round. Then last year, of course, we know he was messing around in the paddock up at Rowra and broke his arm, didn't he, that day?
Kids will be kids.
Yeah, so he never got the chance to race for the championship. And then at Red Lodge, racing not in this class, but in the Minimoto Elite class in the last race of the day, he broke his collarbone, and that pretty much has given Mason Foster the championship lead, because Johnny, although he was at Granny Gorse Park, funny enough, he lives in Devon. I'm not sure what he was doing there. He wasn't racing at Granny Gorse,
out
but
the talent.
he did go. And that gave Mason Foster, I think it's a 19-point lead or something like that. So basically, Garness, if he doesn't win this, it doesn't look like he's going to. Mason Foster pulling away, in fact, pulling away 7/10 on that one lap alone. Johnny's going to have to come back in races 2 and 3 and beat him, or he's going to have too much of a deficit going to the final round.
Here goes Jeffrey. He's going to make a challenge on Mountsey. He's not going to be held back. Oh, that was so tight.
Chops his nose off.
Goodness me, Mountsey. Absolutely relentless. And while these two scrap, look at Bomber Harris behind them. Ronnie is right there for 5th position. A bit squabble. Jeffrey dives for Mountsey. Mountsey hanging it round the outside. Ducks back for the inside. And still Jeffrey is trying to get there on the inside line. Harris has got him into 4th. Jeffrey back on the inside for 4th. Oh my word, that was 4 corners of absolute grandstand stuff.
What's that smell, Ronnie Harris? What's that smell? It's a smell of 3rd place. That's what he can smell there. In 5th at the moment, Ron Harris. But this is a bit like we saw with Rossi Banham. This is the best performance we've seen from Chopper all season. He's in 5th. Can he get 3rd? He can certainly smell it.
Yep, Chopper Harris doing a fantastic job there in 5th position. Ronnie riding well. Here he comes, looking for that top 3 spot. It would be the first time he would clinch a podium. Now, coming back to the Foster Garness story, Foster obviously getting away from Johnny Garness now, but from Johnny's point of view, this is not done yet. Let's say, for example, something were to happen to Mason. He gets through the traffic, ends up making a mistake, something happens to the bike. Yeah. There is no reason for Johnny to be disconsolate at this point, throwing in the towel. He's got to keep that belief. He's got to think, okay, so I'm not on pace with Foster at the moment, but in the traffic, I might be able to get him back.
Yeah, exactly. Anything can happen. Well, listen, we've seen people go down while they got the race lead. Casey O'Gorman did it at this track, if you remember, running in the back of Saffron Watley. I want to say this, by the way, guys, for those of you watching on YouTube, we love your comments that you make, but I will say this. Please bear in mind when you're making comments, you are commenting in some cases about children who are 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years of age. So please moderate your comments, because I do have to keep an eye on them sometime. Somebody did make a comment about Saffron Watley, and she responded to it on YouTube, as Saffron will, by the way. She'd love to you to turn up at the circuit so she can punch you in the face if you do. But yeah, just be careful when you are making comments, guys. Bear in mind that these are kids that we're talking about.
And what kids? Absolutely incredible stuff. The talent is brimming over in Cool FAB, as it has been ever since my initial affiliation with the championship back in 2015. We've had some amazing racing since that point, and we've seen some great talents head into the British Talent Cup and are obviously well on their way to Superbike and Grand Prix glory in the future. These guys are absolutely the best in their craft. Look at this 3rd place battle, still alive and kicking. Jeffrey is all over the back of Sullivan Mountsey, with Chopper Harris still there in 5th position, riding incredibly maturely there in 5th place, not doing anything silly, just keeping himself nicely in contention behind these two. Mountsey and Jeffrey are doing all the hard work here. Harris's ethos is a very mature one. Just sit tight, sit back in position, and let the two in front scrap away.
Yeah, this is going to be huge for his confidence, Jake, moving forward. A great performance here by Ronnie there in 5th place. He'd love to turn it into 3rd. He can judge his braking on what the two in front are doing. Easier to chase than be chased.
Now, we talked a little bit about Johnny Garnes not wanting to lose too much motivation in regards to Mason Foster, but have you seen how far ahead those two have got to these guys? Sullivan Mountsie and Troy Jeffrey are not slow riders at all. They are there in third and fourth, but look at the gap. Foster is 8.5 ahead of Mountsie. Garnes, with a broken collarbone, is 4.5 seconds clear of them as well. That is amazing.
It is remarkable. As I say, we know these kids are made of nails. It's as simple as that. They are hardcore. When they go down and hurt themselves, you don't see them crying and running off to mummy. Not these kids.
Yeah, they could teach the Premiership footballers of the day a thing or two. On the inside, Jeffrey dives for the inside of the hairpin. Great move. Has Mountsie got the acceleration back on the throttle? Not quite, but Jeffrey goes deep into the braking zone, and that's enough for Mountsie to get back. Jeffrey comes back for more. Oh, terrific.
Yeah. Struggling with your voice, Jake.
It's gone. It's well and truly gone. These guys are so good at this. My laryngitis is well and truly kicked in now. These guys absolutely on the lock stops in the braking zone. Foster goes into the last lap. Johnny Garnes second. Mountsie, Jeffrey and Harris still scrapping away for third, with Taylor Stewart-Campbell in the top 6 trying to hang on in front of Edmonds and Sparks. Hopkins and Phillips set to be in the top 10 as well. But what a duel this is turning into for third position, as again Troy Jeffrey has another look at Mountsie. Foster is going to have Johnny Garnes licked here up to the finish line. He'll be 5 seconds clear at least. Johnny doesn't need to worry too much about that yet, because he's still got good points on the bout.
This is the traffic you were talking about, Jake. This is where Johnny Garnes was hoping to get involved in the traffic, but it's not going to happen. He makes his way past into the boot for the last time. It's going to be Mason Foster that takes a nice win and a bigger championship lead moving forward.
A sweet run for Foster. He's delighted with that. The checkered flag is for him. A great win. What a valiant effort, though, from Johnny Garnes. Second place. He puts his hand in the air. I couldn't do anything. Mountsie has gone down. Mountie's gone down in the boot. Jeffrey third. Harris fourth. Now can Mountsie pick the bike up again for a top 5? No. Taylor Stewart-Campbell is going to get there to 5th. Disaster for Mountsie at the end of the race. But what a ride from Jeffrey to get third place in front of Ronnie Harris. Disaster for Mountsie, but consolation to Jeffrey and Harris. They get third and fourth.
Out of shot of the cameras, unfortunately, but Sullivan Mountsie went down. He's trying to make his way across. Well, he's cutting the corner. There he is. He's come across the grass.
That is the biking equivalent of Talladega Nights right there.
He's trying to finish the race because he knows he needs to finish the race to get points.
Well, Foster takes the win in front of his main rival for the title, Johnny Garnes. Jeffrey gets the third place in front of Chopper Harris and Taylor Stewart-Campbell in 5th. Foster would continue to get the second and third races of the season, but you have to take a candle to Johnny Garnes, riding in a valiant effort considering. They head to the final round of Tattershall with Mason Foster set to take the championship. It's not done yet. Garnes could still take it from him. Mountsie and Jeffrey are close for third, with Hopkins in the top 5.
Well, that's it from here at Wilton Mill. We'll be back with you in 5 weeks' time for the final round at Tattershall in Lincolnshire. Join us then.